In this video, we're going to be looking at a verbal reasoning question type called Work Out the Sum. Some of this material has been taken from our verbal reasoning books, which you can find linked in the video description, somewhere here, alongside a free PDF with 20 questions for you to practice after this video. Okay, so let's start by looking at an example from our textbook. These questions are about finding patterns between different sets of numbers. The number in the middle has been formed from the two numbers either side. Now, whatever the pattern is, it needs to be the same for all three sets. So let's take a look at this example. So the first set we have is 3, and we've got the number 3, we've got the number 4 outside, and then the number in the middle is 12. Okay, so how can we make 12 from 3 and 4? Well, if we multiply 3 and 4, we get 12. But does that work for the second set? Right, so in the second set, the two numbers that we have outside are 7 and 5. If we multiply them together, do we get 35? Yes, we do. Right, so that pattern works for both sets. Right, so in this particular case, the number in the middle has been formed from the two numbers on either side being multiplied by each other. So our answer should be 5 multiplied by 2, which is 10. Let's now look at some more examples that we've written for this video. So question 1, we have 11 in the middle, and outside we have 5 and 6. How can we get 11 from 5 and 6? Well, if we add the two numbers, 5 plus 6, that gives us 11. Let's make sure that it works for the second set as well. So in our second set of numbers, we have 12 and 15 outside. Okay, if we add them, do we get 27? Yes, we do. So it works for both sets. So the answer for our final set should come from doing 18 plus 22, which gives us 40. So let's write that answer in. Let's have a look at question 2. On the outside, we have 8 and 45 in the first set, and we have 37 in the middle. Okay, so how can we get 37 from 8 and 45? Well, if I add them, I'm going to get a number bigger than 45, so it can't be addition. But if I subtract the two numbers, so if I do 45 take away 8, I do in fact get 37. But just like I've been saying so far, let's see if that works for the second set of numbers. So in the second set, we have 3 on the left-hand side, we have 61 on the right-hand side. If we subtract those two numbers, do we get the number in the middle? 61, take away 3, yes, we do get 58. So that's our pattern. We need to subtract the two numbers. So for our question, we have 6 and 72. If I do 72, take away 6, I get 66. So the answer for question 2 should be 66. Now, a word of warning for these questions. They won't always be simple additions, subtractions, or even multiplications and divisions. Sometimes you will have to carry out an additional step. So maybe adding another number, or dividing by another number, or subtracting by another number. So let's see what happens in this third example. So the two numbers we have outside are 4 and 18, but the number that we've got in the middle is 2. So immediately my brain's thinking, right, that's a little strange, but let's just see what happens when I subtract the two numbers. Okay, so if I do 18 take away 4, I get 14. Can I get 2 from 14? How do I get 2 from 14? Well, I could do 14 take away 12. Would that work for the second set though? Well, let's try it. So again, remember what I did for the first one is I did 18 take away 4, which gave me 14. 14 take away 12 gives me 2. I'm going to test it out and see if it works with this set. 77 take away 7 is 70, but 70 take away 12, does that give me 10? No, it doesn't. Okay, so I know that that cannot be the pattern, so I've got to try something else. So let me go back to the first set. I'm going to do 18 take away 4 again. I get 14. How else can I get 2 from 14? Well, I could do 14 divided by 7, and that would give me 2. Let's see if that pattern works for the second set. Right, so if I do 77 minus 7, I get 70. If I do 70 divided by 7, I get 10. So that's my pattern. Now you might find it useful to write that, to do some working out. So you might find it useful to write down 18 take away 4, gives me 14, and then 14 divided by 7 gives us 2. Just so that when you come to doing the third set, you remember what to do. So with the third set, we have 60 and 4. So we're going to do 60 take away 4 first, which is 56, and then 56 divided by 7, 8. So the answer should be 8. Okay, so another tip before looking at the next question is these do tend to come up in multiple choice papers. So if the pattern that you've tried and think works produces an answer that's not on the answer sheet, then it's probably not the correct pattern. Now again, with this example, it's not as straightforward as the first 2 questions. So let's look at the numbers on either side of the first set. We have 9 and 72. This is one reason why we tell you to practice your times tables, because you should hopefully be able to spot that 72 is a multiple of 9. If I do 72 divided by 9, I get 8. Now how can I get 4 from 8? Well, I could do 8 minus 4, and that would give me 4. Let's test and see if that works for the second pattern. Right, so remember we're going to be doing that number divided by that number and then take away 4 and see if we get 6. So 84 divided by 7 is 12. 12 take away 4 is 8. So we don't get 6. So again, that means that that pattern that we found for the first set, well, it's not quite correct. So let's go back and try something else. Okay, well, if I do 72 divided by 9, we know that we get 8. How else can I get 4? Well, if I do 8 divided by 2, that gives me 4. All right, let's test and see if that works for the second set. So remember, we're doing that number divided by that number, and then we're going to divide that by 2. So 84 divided by 7, we've already said, is 12. 12 divided by 2 does indeed give me 6. So that must be the pattern. It works for both sets. So let's try on the third set. 90 divided by 5 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So our answer should be 9. Question 5. 2 numbers outside, 12 and 2. We've got 26 in the middle. How can we get 12 and 2? Well, if I do 12 multiplied by 2, that gives me 24. 24 plus 2 gives me 26. Does that work for the second set? Let's see. So 8 multiplied by 9 gives me 72. Immediately, that is a number that's much larger than 29. So I know that that pattern that I tried and tested on the first set doesn't work on the second set. So let's go back and try something else. Right, so let's do 12 plus 2. 12 plus 2, 14. How far is 26 away from 14? Well, it's 12 away. 14 plus 12 gives me 26. So let me try that now again. Just if you're going to forget that, write that down. So we did 12 plus 2 first, gives us 14, and then we did 14 plus 12, which gave us 26. Right, so we're going to try that for the second set. Okay, 8 plus 9. 8 plus 9 gives us 17. 17 plus 12 does in fact give us 29. So it works. That pattern works for both sets. So now we can try it on the final set. So we're going to do 10 plus 15, 25. 25 plus 12, 37. Question 6. We have 10 and 4 on the outside, 28 in the middle. How can we get 28 from 10 and 4? You're going to find with these questions that you're going to have to do a lot of trial and error. You're going to have to use some addition, multiplication, division until you can get the answer in the middle. Now, if I double 10, I get 20. If I double 4, I get 8. If I add them together, 20 plus 8 gives me 28. Okay, so that works for the first set. So just to repeat, I doubled that number, I doubled that number, and then I added my answer together. Let's see if that works for the second set. So double 17 is 34. Double 5 is 10. 34 plus 10 gives me 44. And yes, that's what I have in the middle. So for the last set, we're going to double 13, we're going to double 2. So double 13 is 26, double 2 is 4, 26 plus 4 is 30. So our answer should be 30. I hope you found that useful. Don't forget you can download the free 20 question PDF via the link in the description, as well as a copy of the full verbal reasoning books. To watch another verbal reasoning video, click on one of these boxes, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you found that useful. Don't forget, you can download the free 20-question PDF via the link in the description, as well as a copy of the full verbal reasoning books. To watch another verbal reasoning video, click on one of these boxes, and don't forget to like and subscribe.